Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry, we have to interrupt.
Alaikum
That
salam.
lovely reminder by Numan Alihan, but we might restart it a bit later because we are ready. Today we are going to talk about cycling. We had a show some months ago, and you can go back to our YouTube channel, which contains all of our previous shows, and it's called Wellness with Angela and Safiya. And this is a show which is in partnership with TfGM, Transport for Greater Manchester. They're encouraging people in Greater Manchester to use public transport, walking, cycling, other means that would reduce the use of cars. And I think nowadays, with the price of petrol, everybody's a little bit more keen to think about alternative ways. So today we thought it would be interesting to have on the show a sister who I happen to know quite well from back in the days when our kids were little, who has actually done the training that TfGM is offering to people to become a cycle lead. So welcome, Iram Chaudhry.
Assalamu alaikum. Nice to be here.
Oh, very nice to have you on the show. So Iram, you're a teacher at a Muslim prep school in Manchester.
I am indeed.
That's
yes.
your sort of quick introduction, but you're also a mom.
I am. Yeah.
How many?
Three children. Well, they're not really children now. They're bigger.
Oh, they'll be children until you die. You live there, look at them as like your little babies, even when they have grey hair.
Oh yes,
Inshallah.
definitely. Yeah.
So, how old are they?
One is 30, the other one is 18, and one's just turning 15 tomorrow. So.
Oh, mashallah. And I believe one of them is also a presenter on Heritage Radio.
Yes, the youngest one. He also presents the LA show on a Saturday.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Lukman.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So everybody tune in Saturdays, what time?
12 till 2.
12 to 2 on Heritage Radio. So there's another show for you, especially for the youth, I guess.
Yes, it is. And gaming and computers and tech and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. I need to tell my son about that. That's definitely up his street, like many youth at that age and even older. If I look at mine, who are like 21 and 20, are still very, very, very geeky when it comes to that. Right, so back to cycling. Angela, you remember we talked a lot about with our two guests we had at the time, Susanna and James from TfGM. We talked about how Manchester had invested, Greater Manchester, I should say, because that involves Salford as well and Trafford and everything.
And they've improved the infrastructure for biking and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's quite exciting.
Yeah, it really, really. I was commenting actually that going down Chorlton Road, it was a pain because for as drivers there were a lot of works for a long time. But now how it is, it feels like so much safer for cyclists. So Iram, back to you. What, first of all, you're a cycle lead. What does that mean?
Basically just means that I can lead bike rides. I can organise bike rides and lead them. But I mean, really for me, it started out that I was lockdown and you want to do something to get out, get some exercise. So I had my bike, which I hadn't used for a very long time, and it was sitting in the shed. So I started taking it out, doing little rides, and then I discovered Let's Ride. HSBC organise Let's Ride, where you can access lots of rides that have already been organised by people. So they have the breeze rides, which are just for women. So you just you go onto the website, you put in your postcode, and then you have a whole list of rides that are nearby you. So the ones nearest me wasn't that near. I had to still ride about 15 minutes to get to the ride. And it was a little bit of like, oh gosh, shall I do this? Shall I not? It was 9:30 in the morning, get up, go out of the house. And kind of I just pushed myself and drove down to Stretford and met up with this lovely group of ladies who all love cycling and different sort of abilities, and then they just take you on a ride. So, and it's about a 10-mile ride, sort of from Stretford. It was maybe Salford Quays or around the Stretford area. A lot of off-road, some on-road, and that kind of helped me build my confidence in riding, because then you're kind of, before I was like, I don't want to ride on a road, it's too dangerous.
That sounds
I can't
like
do
me.
it.
Whenever I see someone on the road, I'm thinking, how brave.
Yeah, and I would just be like, no, no, I can't do this. But by actually going on these rides as part of a group, and they're really
confidence.
it gives you confidence, and they're really supportive, and they say, well, we don't leave anybody behind, so even if you're a bit slow.
So how did you decide to do the lead?
Well, from there, then it was like, 'cause I was doing these rides with them for quite a while, but then I thought it's nice to sort of encourage, I'm sort of had to travel a bit to get to them anyway. It'd be nice to have something in my local area. So I just, on a WhatsApp group, this other lady was interested in cycling as well in my area, and then we both decided, let's just see if we can, set up a little group of our own and do our own cycling. So we did a few rides just ourselves, and then I came across this cycle lead training that TfGM were running, and I thought, well, might as well just do this, so then you can feel a bit more confident if you're leading other people that you don't know. This was just like very sort of, some one or two other people that I do know that we could just go on rides together. So that's why I decided to go on the cycle lead training. So then me and this other sister Yeshim, we both went and we did the training, and it helps to sort of just again sort of give you a bit more confidence of how to lead other people, where to be, and where other people should be, and doing the sort of the checking your bike and making sure people are safe when they're cycling as well.
Sounds really exciting and also inspirational, because if I saw a sister with hijab, or riding a bike on the road, I'd be like, hey, if she can do it, that means I can do it too, because sometimes your confidence get in the way.
Definitely. Yeah, it is a lot about confidence and just feeling that you can be confident. And I think as you feel a bit more confident, and I think the driving laws as well have changed a bit to give you that more confidence that, yes, you do own part of the road and you have every right to be there. So I can, before I'd be like, oh, I can't even, if there's a bus, that'd be on the pavement. Yeah. But I feel, no, I've got my right here. And,
Do you make sure you wear, do you wear a helmet?
Yeah, definitely. I do wear a helmet. I've got my lights on my bike when it's dark, and I've got my little basket, all the little bits and pieces. But yeah, no, helmets are definite. And then just making sure before every ride that that you've done the check that your brakes are working and your tires are right and all of that kind of stuff.
But you can repair a bike too now.
Well, I did do, before that, I did one of these TfGM cycle maintenance courses.
Great.
I think I need to do a bit of a refresher, but I have changed my inner tubes.
That's amazing. Let's go, sisters. Yeah. Sister power.
I remember doing that when I was a kid. Yeah. Oh, it's so messy.
When you're a kid,
very messy.
You're a kid, but as you get older, and especially as ladies with hijab and we dress so nice and stuff, it might not be fitting, but no, it is.
Yeah. Like when just have a pair of plastic gloves.
Yeah, because when your chain comes off.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. I mean, thankfully, alhamdulillah, sometimes when it's happened and there'll be some very nice cyclist driving by who's even more experienced, and they'll be happy. They're very happy to help out.
I think it's like a community, isn't it? Yeah. You see another cyclist.
Definitely, and I think sometimes you just like your own strength, because sometimes the screws and things are quite tight, so it can be a little bit of a struggle. So somebody there to help, it can be quite nice.
I think probably to start off with, like you can start like local sort of cycle routes, say from your house to the local supermarket or something.
Yeah, doing local things. And I think it's just making sure you have your lock, so if you go to the supermarket you can leave your bike there, feeling confident to leave your bike there. But I found that when I started cycling during the lockdown and doing the breeze rides, which gave me a lot more confidence, and my sister, who didn't cycle, she decided to go and buy a bike, and now she's cycling, so now we can do rides together. And my son, who was just like, no, I'm not cycling, I'd rather drive, he started cycling. Then there's some people at school as well who they went off and did they weren't confident riders, so they did the road ready TfGM training earlier on this year. So now they're sort of feeling more confident that they can get on their bike and they can ride as well. Cycling to school, to work sometimes, trying to make that so I can reduce my petrol usage, because I'm in Timperley, my workplace is in Withington. So even if I do that maybe once or twice a week, then you think, well, actually, it's a bit better for the planet and a bit better for my pocket as well.
Yeah, of course. And okay, so let's talk about the obstacles. A few things come to my mind. I don't know where to park my bike. The weather's not that great. or I'm worried a bus will run me over, or or I'm a Muslim woman with a hijab, as you said earlier.
How can you stay modest on the bike?
Or worse, it's haram. I shouldn't be on a bike.
All of these questions. I mean,
they all was haram when I was
let's
a new
unpick
Muslim.
that.
Yeah.
So let's unpick that. So you said about do you find that in Manchester, or like the places you've been mainly, do you find places easily places to park your bike and lock it?
Generally, I mean, if I'm going to shops, there's always cycle racks there. If I've gone to the library, there'll be cycle racks there, or there'll be railings or something where you can sort of put your bike.
So any advice on how to actually, what would you advise, like one of those
the only thing, I mean, I have got the big U bend, whatever, D-lock, whatever you call it, which I mainly use at home now to lock my bike at home in the shed, because we did have a burglary. So that I use that at home because I find that quite heavy. I mean, I think if you feel
so flexible, you kind of
so I think, I mean, Aldi are brilliant. So they've got so much stuff. Sorry for advertising them, but it's a lot cheaper. So I think the last lock I bought, it's a chain, but it's wrapped in kind of a fabric and it's quite long, so it's more flexible. You can wrap it, and even if you've got two people, one person hasn't got a lock, you can share your
So you
lock.
keep it on your knapsack?
So then I'll keep it I'll wrap it around my bike, or I've got my basket as well, I'll maybe stick it in there. So that's always having a bike lock with you, or is handy.
Yeah, definitely. So that would be a good thing. So you generally find places, and you tend to wrap it around your front wheel with the metallic bars,
make
so
sure
that no one can steal your front wheel, because the back wheel's virtually impossible.
And it's always a little bit of a worry when you're leaving your bike, but I think I would imagine that mainly it's the more expensive, very
mountain
sort of
bikes
racer
and
bikes that cost about £1,000 that people are after.
Very true.
Not my bike.
Not your kind of very, very true. It works the same for cars. Don't have anything too fancy. You don't really need it, especially if it's for a city. It just has to be comfortable, really. So where did you find how did you find out about all this, first of all, before we go into the other obstacles?
I think with the breeze and things like that was just I don't know, just went on the internet and just looked things up, and it was all there.
Because there's a website you can go to. I'm just going to I will repeat it at the end of the show, but there's different website you can go on, so like Be Active with double E, so Be Active. But there's activetravel.tfgm.com/cycling, and you'll find all of the information that we're mentioning now, like the train. There's also /training, that would be for the training, but cycling gives you all sorts of information on how to get into a course if you need a bit of a refresher course, or your different resources. So other obstacles we were talking about. I'm a Muslim woman, wear a scarf, I should not be on the bike.
I mean, I know sometimes people do feel, I think you have to go. If you feel, it's not right for you to be on a bike, fine, don't ride a bike. But I chose a bike. Before, I used to have a bike, just the normal mountain bike. And I would always feel like I'm bending over, you have to go forward, you have to hunch over. It's uncomfortable, and you feel it doesn't look so, ladylike.
Modest,
But then I switched over to sort of the Dutch style bike, so the handlebars come round, so you can sit upright on your bike, which I feel is much more comfortable. You can ride for a really long time, and it feels really comfortable. The seat's really nice and comfy.
True.
And it looks more ladylike. I mean, I tend to just wear sort of a sort of a knee length top and trousers when I'm cycling, and it's absolutely fine. I know my sister wears something much longer. Sometimes she cycled with her jilbab on.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, so, and she's fine. And I know when she went on her cycling training course, and she was wearing her gear, and one of the people were saying about wearing clothes which are appropriate and don't flap around. And so she was saying, but for me as a woman, as a Muslim woman, I want to I'm quite happy cycling like this, and I don't feel it stops me. And then one of the other people was actually saying, well, yes, in the olden days, this is how women would cycle, so it's not actually an obstacle to cycling.
Now bike chains are protected under, they have like a metallic.
Exactly.
If you see Victorian pictures of women bicycling, they were wearing all this more clothes than we even wear. But I have a question for you. Say somebody is listening now and they want to go get a bike, okay? And all bikes you can't just go and buy a bike, right? You have to make sure it's the right size and all that. What should someone do?
Well, I mean, I think I personally would recommend a hybrid bike, because then you can ride on sort of off-road and
What's
on-road.
a hybrid bike?
It's kind of, it allows, it's a lighter frame, but it also, the wheels and such, are that they allow you to sort of go off-road and on-road. If you get a road bike, the wheels are much thinner, and it's just for road cycling, but it's much lighter bike. But a hybrid will let you do both, because I think often we like to cycle for leisure, and there's a lot of off-road cycling paths which you feel safe, because yes, you don't have the traffic to worry about, you don't have the buses to worry about,
but it's
so you want
pedals and it's more
so a hybrid bike. But say I want to go get a bike, and I'm 4'11", and regular bikes won't suit me. So what do? I walk into a shop.
I mean, generally, the women's bikes, they will they'll adjust the seat according to you. But I'm just 5 foot, and my bike's sort of just an average bike. They'll adjust the seat, so it'll, it's quite adjustable. So it would.
Do you recommend that people go in to get a bike? Like,
definitely,
to get measured,
no. I think you should. I think you should go in. You should sit on the bike, see how it feels, and then make sure that. I think it's nice. It's better if you can get the bike shop to make the bike for you, and have it adjusted to your height. Because I know, like, sometimes if you buy a bike, maybe sometimes people buy them online and they just think they'll make them up themselves, and it might not just feel right. It might feel too heavy.
And one more question I have. It's regards Sidewalks. Is it true? Like, final, like, bust the myth. Can you ride on the sidewalks? Yes or no? Is it legal in the UK?
I don't know about the legality, but I don't think you are supposed to ride on the pavement.
I think there's a size of the wheels. It depends. So, for instance, a child's bike, generally until like they're 10, when they have the much smaller wheels, they're okay legally. Yeah. But with an adult size bike, you can't. But it's rarely enforced generally, especially if you do that in an area where it would be much more dangerous for you to be on the road, because there's no real cycle paths.
And I think sometimes you just, if you feel that the road's really busy, there's quite a wide pavement and there's really nobody on it, then if you cycle for a short distance on the pavement, I don't think anybody's going to.
But the recommendation would
probably is don't.
The recommendation would probably be just dismount and walk next to your bike.
Yeah, and then just whenever you go with the cycling groups and this and that, they'll just dismount. They won't let you cycle on the pavement.
Which is fair enough, because sometimes you've been surprised by, especially but guys on mountain bikes just zooming past you. Now it's the electric scooters.
Yes, yeah. So there are quite a lot of cycle paths are next on the pavements. So you've got your cyclists and your pedestrians next to each other. So I suppose sometimes that can be confusing for people when that ends and then the normal pavement starts. Yeah.
So you feel like the new. Well, I don't know really about the new rules, but like when you're on a bike, what happened to me once, I was the rare times when we went out as a family with our bikes and everything. So we were just cycling on the main road, major road, and lots of side roads coming off on the left, and the car just went and turned left right in front of me and beeped at me when I was like, they should consider us as a vehicle.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh my God, that was alhamdulillah, it was such a close encounter that it really put me off a bit. So I'm because of this, I've always been fairly fairly considerate driver, but you never, sometimes you just get bogged down, like you want to get to your destination. But I'm quite conscious, and I've read about these new laws where when you turn left now, it is a must. You have to stop for pedestrian and bikes to cross the road or stay on that main road and go straight forward when you turn left. Do you find that people are generally considerate by car?
I found generally, yes, that people, and I think a lot more people have started cycling recently, obviously over lockdown. So I think when you cycle yourself, it makes you a better driver then, doesn't it? It makes you more considerate. So
I think there's some routes as well down, like the big archery down from central Manchester. Like sometimes when I go in, and and teach Pilates and Taekwondo in Sale. And there's that long, is that the A57 going 56, sorry, going down. You've got like 6, 7 o'clock. You've got so many cyclists going down. So you see them a lot more, and some routes, Stratford Road as well here, and so it's coming more. But I really like, I have to say, Greater Manchester, if you're listening, I love these bollards and things that they've put.
Oh, definitely.
I really feel it's like a car cannot go into your space.
Yeah, because some of the cycle lanes are so tiny, and you think you've just got like a tiny little space of a wheel.
Road,
yeah, and you really, I mean, when we went to cycle training, they said don't go in the, take more space, because that's not really enough space for you.
Well, that's the second new law, which is a bicycle must ride in the middle of the road unless they can't. So by default, they should be taking the full space of a vehicle.
Yeah, and it's safe. You feel that maybe it's not safe, but actually it's safer for you to take up more space and make the car wait for you. And sometimes you'll be like looking over your shoulder, there's a car behind you, but you think, doesn't matter, I'm just going to keep going. They'll just have to wait.
Yeah, and I'm sure that a lot of car drivers are not aware of this new law. I'm thinking, what is this cyclist doing here, and beeps and get annoyed and stuff, but actually you're in the right. And it's true, they can't brush past you. They, as drivers, we really have to go on the other side and completely overtake as we would a whole car. Yeah, which is really good. So before we move on to talk about other things related to cycling and Muslim women especially, just want to remind you a few things. If you don't know how to ride, you can go to Alexandra Park in Whalley Range. There's fortnightly sessions on Saturday mornings, which are free of charge. Bikes are provided. You just go on cycletraining.tfgm.com/public booking. Just double check that this is all up to date. And also there's a community bike project that's run by volunteers, again at Alexandra Park, to support local people to recycle, repair, have fun with bikes. They provide equipment, resources, instructors and mechanics, and that's on Friday mornings and early afternoon. There's also women-only groups available, and tailored session for specific groups. So there's also something on Mondays. So basically, just have a look at www.thebikehive.co.uk. You can also go to activetravel.tfgm.com/cycling for more information, tips and resources about how to start cycling when you already know and you just want to get on your bike and enjoy it a bit more. So Iram, we were talking about the different obstacles to cycling, especially as a Muslim woman. So we said that basically that was a myth, that Muslim women were not supposed to cycle and to go on a bike, but you wanted to talk about other obstacles. So what, like age, you mentioned?
Yeah, I was just thinking about age. I mean, when I started cycling with the Breeze, that was very inspirational, because all these women, they were, I'm in my 50s, they were probably in this, 50s and 60s. This main cycle age is probably about 60 something, and so fit, and they're doing these like 26 mile, 30 mile, rides on, other sessions, and I did join them on one of those rides as well. And one of the ladies, we'd meet in Stratford, but she'd ride from Stockport to Stratford to go on this, 30 mile bike ride, and then cycle back again. So I think sometimes we kind of we'll think, oh well, I'm older now and I can't do this, but you can do this. It's just about starting, because it's so much fun and it's social as well, and it's just a great way to stay fit and to get around as well. So I don't, we shouldn't feel age is a barrier for these things.
Yeah, it's as a physical fitness instructor, I definitely can say that cycling has got a great advantage. Is that it's a gentle cardio exercise. You are sometimes, if you push and you have to go up a hill or something, you'll have that moment where you push yourself a bit, but it's not going to be especially in Manchester. We have
flat. It's very flat,
and small slopes, not like Sheffield's or Leeds, but So it's a little bit easier. You can choose more easily kind of a flat area. But also it's low impact on your joints. It's really good. You know, it's like kind of that movement with your legs going like cycling. You for your hips, it gets everything quite well oiled. For your knee, if you have some of a knee problem or knee issue, you worry, you've got a bit of arthritis, this will help keep things going without being too high impact, like jumping or...
So this could fit in with if you're on the overweight sides, like on the heavier sides.
Yeah.
That shouldn't stop you from taking.
No,
this
definitely
on.
not. Yeah, just I think you should just get out there, and I think if you're part of a group of ladies, then I think that helps you feel more more protected, that you're all together and then everybody's helping each other, and if somebody they'll wait for you, and I think it's nice to do things in a group, and if you feel self-conscious, you're not going to feel as self-conscious when you're in a group of people.
True, because also I think you probably know, as a cycle lead, like you are going to take a responsibility to know where to turn, how to turn, to indicate and to signal. And as a user in the group, you just kind of follow the lead. So
that's it.
It removes that worry I think we all have probably. Then what am I going to do when I reach a junction? What am I going to do if this happens or that happens? You can just relax and just enjoy just the process of cycling rather than all of the things that go around with it. Thinking about your route.
Definitely. Thinking about the route and where to go. At least that's all taken care of.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. So have you thought of organising something a bit more structured?
Well, we've got the other lady in Timperley, so we've set up the Altrincham Ladies Cycling Group, so a Facebook page for that.
So is that the name of it?
That is the name of it.
So
Altrincham
repeat it again.
Altrincham Ladies Cycling Group. Yes, it's a long name.
No, because we'll add that to the to our YouTube video in the description, so people can go back to it.
So then we've organised a few rides, and we just advertise it on the Facebook page. At the moment, it's been because of the other lady, she's gone to Turkey, so we better come back.
Mashallah,
And
we like that word.
Turkey. I know. And then we'll be organising some more rides, and then we have our small WhatsApp group, then we'll just WhatsApp each other and say.
So people can contact you first on Facebook, and then
and if they're in the area and they want to, even if they've got some availability for rides, and they let us know, and then we can just, because it's kind of very informal at the moment. So
where do you cycle? How long is the cycle ride? All of these things that people might be worried about.
We've done quite short ones because the people want, it's about fitting in with time. So like maybe we'll meet up at 10 o'clock in the morning, but we finish by 12 on a Saturday. So it's a couple of hours riding in the local area. Maybe it'll be about 10 miles maximum, which would take a couple of hours. Have a bit of a break with your tea and coffee and a drink or something. Of course, yes, has to be a break.
Part of the social.
Yeah, but there are some. Around the sort of Trafford area, you've got the Bridgewater Canal, which is fantastic, flat. Traffic-free cycling. Then you've got the Transpennine routes, which are again in traffic-free, and you can access. You can go to Dunham Massey. You can cycle up to Lymm and have a coffee there, or go the other way to Chorlton and Stretford. So there's lots of cycle lanes which are without traffic, where you can feel happy just cycling and not thinking that you've got lots of people around you, and if you're in a group, then you feel quite safe as well. So
if you're someone like me who really doesn't fancy cycling all the way to a place and then cycling even more and then back home, do you have places you recommend, or would your group be facilitating this, that you come with your car, with the bike in the car? We've done that. My sister does that actually. She comes down with her bike. But I think if you want to be more mobile with your bike, then make sure your bike has a wheel that can be taken off, so you can fit it into your car easily, or that you have a bike rack, obviously. Or a big car.
A big van.
It's just my bike fits in. So you'll be able to just the way you meet. Is generally we usually meet in the Dunelm car park, just off the canal. So that's very that's great. That's really you make me feel like doing it. Obviously, then it's like
leave from here and go straight to get a bike.
Yeah, and is that going to be? So there you go, Angela. You're the next cycle lead for Rochdale.
It's the writing is on the
Inshallah.
wall. The writing is on the wall. There is a group in Rochdale, but for me to actually, I had a bike, but I think I didn't get the right size. Then I didn't use it there. Eventually, I got rid of it. But the idea of getting a bike keeps coming back to me.
Yeah.
Because I used to ride a bike to school when I was 13 for practice in Greece. So then I left it. And as you're getting older, you think, oh, no. But it's coming back. Inshallah, I'm gonna definitely somehow. It's on my list of goals for next year.
And I suppose like any kind of exercise, there's that obstacle of right, I've got to go and do it. But once you sort of get on that bike and you cycle, you just feel so fresh, and and especially riding and sort of a quiet path or something like that, it freshens your mind.
Yeah.
You could go further with it. Instead of just walking.
Very true.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Once you learn how to navigate on the road, then you could actually do use it for going for
commuting. Yes, exactly.
And
yeah. I know sometimes when I've decided I'm going to cycle in the morning to work, and it's like, okay, you might look out and be a bit drizzly, but once I've actually made it out and got my bike out, and then I think, I'm so glad I did this. But I suppose that's with exercise.
One thing, do you ever worry about pollution on the road, like how cyclists get affected by pollution? I just thought I'd ask that.
Yeah, I mean, when I do take certain cycling on the road, then you do feel it, especially you've got the cars and everything, and you do feel it. So you kind of try to find routes which maybe some of it's on the road, but it's avoid because I think that is you can feel it in your nostrils when you've got trucks and buses going past you.
I've seen people wear something on their face.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I would think I would find that really like I couldn't breathe.
Limiting your breathing.
Yeah. No, I've seen that.
Do you remember when we had the first show on cycling, we discussed that a little bit, and what they said, I think we found a study that said that when they compared people at a different level, people, obviously a pushchair, a pedestrian, a cyclist, they found actually cyclists did not suffer as much as we would have thought, because you're a bit higher up, you're not right behind the exhaust pipe, and also often you can veer off and go into some more or sometimes the cycle path itself just goes off the road a bit.
Yeah.
So there are some places, yes, the pollution, and especially if it's like in rush hour, but all in all actually it wasn't too bad for cyclists compared to maybe someone in a car right behind the fumes. It's something that I guess we just have
not
to live
to worry
with.
too much about it. And since you're on a bike, you can actually do like
change your route a bit, to go somewhere a bit more residential. Choose the back roads.
The back roads, yeah.
So
and we are lucky in Manchester. There's a lot of sort of quieter cycle routes, and you have. I mean, I've got an app on my phone, Komoot, and I think there's Strava, and they map out a route for you, which will take you sometimes on the back streets, and so you avoid the main roads as much as possible to get to where you want to get to.
Oh, that's really good. It's a bit like
sorry, did you say there's an app?
Yeah, the app I use is called Komoot, Komoot, and I think some people use Strava as well.
So how do you plug
so
in?
It'll just be like Google Maps, but I'll just put in where I want to go, my destination
by
in
bike.
there. Yeah, by bike into there, and it'll just come up with a route which will take into account cycle lanes and paths and back streets and things like that. So it just makes it so much easier to find a route that mainly avoids the main, because if you put it into Google Maps, even if you put bike, it'll always take you on the main roads.
Yeah, it's almost
but
I think this week is going to be the week I'm going to go get a bike. Sofiya, I'm too tired today, but I'm definitely
our show on I have it written here. Our show on cycling was on the 16th of February, and we're August. Okay, fine, good. It's few months down the line. It takes time for ideas to
ferment, because when you ferment something, it has more vitamins.
Plus the weather's nice, and we're in the summer, so we're always more encouraged. Come December, you'll be like, oh, my bike.
I want to get over that idea that you should go out when it's cold, because I grew up with that, and we missed out on so many things when I was a kid. No, you're not allowed to do that. It's raining. No, you're not allowed to do that. It's snow. But it's always snowing in Canada, Mom. It's never going to stop. No, no, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. For
I
me,
don't
it
wanna
would be
be
more
like
you're going to
that.
slip and. But my
need to
children
get
have gone
over
to
it.
school, in by bike as well, occasionally, and it's a bit of an effort. They arrive in school a little bit sweaty because it's the slope is upwards towards college.
But swimming is good for you.
But when they arrive like all
A bit of
sweaty at school,
effort.
it's a little bit embarrassing. But I think this is it. Schools should have places where they can actually refresh, to encourage.
Yeah.
And if more people were doing it, then more people would be happy for their kids to ride the bike, especially for girls. Like when my daughter was going to college, if she had the bike option, but other girls were riding too, not by herself on that lonely stretch, you'd feel, oh no. But if other girls were doing it, then you'd say, okay, fine. Then my husband had a lot of work to do when she was in college, like waking up to certain
I think this is it, maybe
hours,
encouraging things in school. That would be the next stage. Like TfGM is doing a lot of work, but maybe and they might still already be doing this, going into schools.
Well, this is actually in our school, and when something that I've really sort of been very passionate about is encouraging more ways to come to school. So we've taken part in, I don't think it's TfGM that run it, it's another charity, sort of the Walk to School campaign. But we've had from there, then we had I think it's TfGM or Bikeability, learn to ride for children. So they offer it free to schools. So they've come into school for our year 3 and 4 children who don't know how to ride a bike, because there are a lot of children who just don't have that opportunity. So they've come in and they've taught the children how to ride the bike. And we've had mums coming afterwards say, we're just so happy our child couldn't ride yesterday and now they're riding the bike and they feel so confident. Then they have Bikeability, which they run for year 5 and 6. So we've had them for many years coming into school with our year 5 and 6, and they do a sort of, they spend a day with them, then they take them out, they teach them how to ride on the roads and how to be safe on the roads when they're riding outside, so then they can feel confident when they go into secondary school that they can actually ride the bike. So there are initiatives there that are now in schools, and it's good when they start in primary, when children perhaps don't have so much of that self-consciousness about them.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, parents out there, do teach your children to ride a bike. It's really easy. Wait until they're about 4 or 5, they've got better balance. Get them a very cheap bike of, one of those places you can get online, for very cheap, second-hand, wherever you can find them. Put them on the bike, hold the back of their t-shirt, run a bit after them, push them off. We used to actually teach our children on the grass, so that if they fell, that was okay. They were not raise their knees, whatever. It was. They felt a bit more. It was a bit bumpier, but they felt a bit more confident.
But they also have knee pads now. Since my kids were little, there was knee pads.
Yeah, you can have that, but you don't really need to, because they get their balance very, very quickly. You just have to give them momentum. The only thing you need to do is just push them enough so that the bike stays upright.
And obviously with the very young ones, the balance bikes. Are fantastic. So without the pedals. And they go straight from them onto cycling then.
Yeah. So don't be put off. It really is very easy. You do that a few times. Seriously, if kids are so good at learning this thing, and it's a skill for life. You never, as we said, the saying, once you learn to cycle, you never forget it. Never.
And I would imagine. I don't know, but obviously we're told from the Sunnah that you should learn archery and you should learn horse riding, and I'm sure that horse riding, bicycle riding, there must be some, there's a comparison there. So
it's a means of or it could also be car driving. It's basically horses is it's a means of transport. You have to be able to go further than just what you can reach by foot. Somehow obviously you can use public transport, which we like to encourage, and especially in Manchester we have such a great network now, but still, you sometimes you do need to use another means of transport, and to know how to do that by yourself gives you so much freedom, as we know. So it's I really do encourage you parents to do that. There was another thing as well. As an adult, I think if you're a bit daunted by having to do all that effort of cycling, and if you hit a slope and you don't have enough endurance, and if you can afford it, again, I'm sure you can find cheaper versions of second-hand online. Try and get yourself like an electric bike because then you can alternate between pedaling and using the electric option. So that can help you, give you a boost when it gets a bit harder, and that gives you the confidence as well that you can go. You're not going to be stuck. Oh my God, I can't go. There's a slope and I can't do it.
Yeah, and then you might be able to go a bit further as well.
Yeah. So that there's loads and lots of different ways you can find your way around. So Iram, this is really so exciting. You really spurred us into action. I'm going to have a look at your website. Although Saturday mornings I'm always so busy with teaching and all, but I'm sure there's there are times when I can find a time to join you on one of your rides, because your Altringham's so beautiful, so leafy.
Yeah, there's a lot of
all
nice
this
rides
big
around there. Yeah, and it's very
park.
flat, which is lovely.
Yes.
I used to live in Prestwich, and it was very hilly, so it wasn't as easy to ride in Heaton Park.
Big advantage, really, I have to say, when it's not too hilly. So, Angela, do you want to
how about
wrap up?
we talk about tips for cycling, right? And if you have anything to add, Iram, okay? So we join the exercise bike with a friend. We can make it easy when you do it in pairs. The same works with walking, right? You do it when it's a nice day outside to get you started, right?
Definitely,
Right?
yeah.
Because when it's rainy, you can barely start. So it's good in the summer to get started, isn't it? Then you can continue.
Yeah, then you continue.
Then we have, you can rent bikes in some places, like you can rent scooters, so you can do that in many cities, and I'm sure they have
Yeah, in
that
Manchester
scheme
as
in
well.
Manchester. You can rent a bike from place to place, so that's
and a lot
really
of
good
if
option.
you're going to the Peak District and stuff and you want to cycle,
Yes.
they have rental, don't they?
Yes, there is. We did that as well as a family. That was lovely, and that was also off track. It was off road. It was on that old. I think they're going. I'm just reading recently. There's another old rail track. I think Trafford. In Trafford,
Yeah.
there's an old rail track there that they're thinking of or going
That'd
to
be great.
transform it
Repurpose
into a
it. That's
cycle
amazing.
track.
I've seen one on the tram.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'd be nice.
Really good.
Another good thing to do is to just plan it ahead of time, walking or biking. Walk more and bike more. Like, just take your bike to the store, or the shop, instead of just taking the car, right? And even at work, and you said you've done that, so it is doable. Just because you're going to work doesn't mean.
Yeah, no,
Right,
it is. I
right.
would just pack my clothes and my rucksack and just quickly change once I'm there with my.
And now, if you work in a big city like Manchester, you've got all these places where you can you pay a subscription per month, and you can leave your bike there. It's safe. You can have
I've
your
even
shower.
seen people on the train bring their bike and then
Yes.
ride their bike after they get off the train.
Yeah, some trains allow you to do
So it really is a matter of putting your mind to it.
that. Yeah,
And
planning
you
a
can
bit.
find affordable options. You can go on Facebook Live. I don't know, different places to buy an affordable bike.
Yeah, Facebook Market. Yeah. And
Market.
Gumtree and eBay and all of those.
And often, even if you buy it cheap and it's not in fantastic condition, it doesn't really cost that much to take it to a bike shop and just have it sorted out.
Yeah.
It's cheaper probably than buying a brand new bike.
Exactly, definitely. A bit of rust on the handlebar is okay. You just check your brakes and your lights.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
what
have
you
to
need.
say,
And-
yes, definitely been inspired. I guess I'm ready for that.
Yep.
This week, inshallah. This
Okay, then.
week.
We
Buying a
will
bike.
check next week.
What if
Angela?
I drive to your house? Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna drive all the way through
No.
Eccles.
We'll see. We'll see what we do. What we
That's
manage to make you do.
just- Maybe
Inshallah.
next year.
Yeah, and Rochester's a bit too hilly. So yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Iram.
Well, that's
lovely.
lovely
Thank you
being
so
here.
much for your time. Very
Thank you.
inspiring. So we'll hope that you enjoy this and you got inspired and spurred into action. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Alaikum salam.
barakatuh.